Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sequoia Project podcast, the podcast dedicated to talking about the ins, outs, ups, and downs of business. We are on episode 9 now, and we're going to be talking. I forgot to introduce you. I'm here with my co-host Dale.
I'm Dale. Everyone, you probably don't need to introduce me anymore.
Well, I was the more important part, clearly, at that moment.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about a little bit about confidence and whatnot around business and defining some of your terms for you. Do you want to jump into what that particularly means, Dale?
I'm going to tie that into what we talked about last week, which was more so getting your idea and getting a shape and a feel of, like, if you don't have any experience, what your business could look like based on the problem and the solution that you have and the kind of ideas and skill sets that you had as well. So what we want to dive in today is the confidence side of that, because naturally everyone has good ideas. I mean, geez, I've had a lot of people's good ideas over the last 12 months as well. I get people putting ideas on my desk daily, and there's some great ideas. But the biggest thing that holds people back from actually taking action on those things is they don't have the confidence to do it or to get started. So we're going to tie that up nicely with what we gave you last week into this week with how to get confidence, what it is, and basically once you get it, how to not lose it, or how to lose as little of it as possible so that you can keep moving with your ideas going forward. And then the natural thing that comes off the back of that for me anyway is defining the most important terms to yourself, because there's a broad definition of what things mean, like what success means, what confidence means, all that kind of stuff. But to be able to actually work towards it, you need to know what it means for yourself. So we're going to cover those two things today. Then we're going to have a bit of fun. Then we've got a couple of segments that we want to roll out. We rolled out Measure or Murder last week. We got another one called the Balance Sheet that we want to do off the back of this as well. And then Coby's got a story that he wants to share with me. And he said that he wouldn't share it with me until it was in front of everyone. So that is something that we're all looking forward to at the end of this.
Do you want to talk any faster? Jesus Christ.
Was that fast, was it? I get excited.
Quick.
I get excited. And we've only got 30 minutes. So I'm just like, if I talk on double time speed, I hope no one listens to this in like time and a half or 2 times. That would be impossible to
everyone trying to be like super like efficient and get it done in 15 minutes.
I'm trying to just cram information down people's faces for the next half an hour.
Absolutely. I think the confidence is such a cool thing to talk about, because I lacked so much at the start of it. That was like definitely one of my big things that you would have 100% noticed. Like anytime I'd come across to you and I'd message you, I'd be like, yeah, like I had no confidence in cold calling, no confidence in talking to people, no confidence in doing anything. And I think I have to mention at least once an episode, I managed to get onto the news and everything, and that definitely brought us some confidence.
I should have seen that coming, man. I should have seen that coming. I was saying to myself, where the hell is he going with this?
It has to be mentioned once an episode.
Okay.
But like,
it was huge. Yeah, it's a huge thing. And it kind of makes all the difference. Like, I ask the question to people all the time is, if you could do anything and know you wouldn't fail, what would you do? Like, and the answer is always different to what they're doing now, because it's like, holy shit, there's no risk anymore. So confidence is a massive thing. And the fact, if you're listening to this and you ask yourself that question and you go, oh, dude, I'd be doing this. The only difference is if you knew you couldn't fail, you'd have a ton of confidence. So
100%.
That's why we're bringing it in today. And like Coby said, like, he come from a place of, like, he'd never really been out there before, like in the world, like he'd done his jobs and stuff like that. But then he had to like put him and his product and his service out there, and you start with no confidence. Everyone starts with no confidence. So that's why we're talking about today. So the first thing that I want to talk about with confidence is, what the bloody hell is it? Because if you don't know what it is, it's hard to get. It's like if you made up a word and I was like, go and get that thing, and no one knew what it was, it would be impossible to get. So let's talk about what the bloody hell is confidence. My definition for confidence is having a list of things that you know work and a list of things that you don't work. And then you do the things that you know work. You have evidence to suggest that, hey, when I do this, I get this result. Then you start to feel a certain way where you go, I'm going to do an action and I'm going to get this result. I'm very confident I'm going to get this result. So that's my definition. And it can be different for you. It might be exactly the same. You might listen to that and go, hey, that's a good definition. I like that. You might go, that was an idiot, and I don't like that at all. Plenty of people have said that, and that's fine. But whatever it is to you, you need to actually define it. You need to know what it is, because then you can actually tell if you're getting more of it or less of it. And if you're doing actions and you feel less and less like that definition that you describe, then you are getting less confident, which means your actions aren't yielding results, and you can change them. And if you, obviously the opposite of that is true as well. If you make decisions and you start feeling really good and you're like, dude, this is the exact definition like I had, then you are getting more confident and you know what you're doing works. And then you get to a point where you have so much confidence that everything you touch turns to gold and life is brilliant and fantastic. And then it comes, how do we keep that? So what do you reckon your definition of confidence is, Cobes? And like, how does that hit you? How does that fall on your ears?
Yeah, confidence to me is kind of like it's your ability to trust that you can do something more than your fear of failure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, bingo.
Which I think is the big thing there, because the fear of failure is something that holds so many people back from confidence. I think even failure is something that destroys a lot of people's confidence. And it's the ability to take those, like, obviously failing at something or not doing well at something is to a learning lesson rather than just giving up on it, I think. Because yeah, anytime someone fails at doing something or finds that something hasn't gone exactly as they hoped it would or anything like that, it tends to get a lot of people to kind of stop doing what they're doing or really doubt themselves and everything like that, which is why I think it's good to acknowledge the fact that it's your confidence is the trust that you can do something, and that have that a little bit stronger than your fear of failing at that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of where I am around it.
Yeah, that's a good ratio and it's a good explanation as well. And I think we'll dive into this more when we get to the definitions of things. But like, for example, to me, the definition of courage speaks exactly to what you were talking about with fear there, which is if you don't have fear, then doing an action it's not courageous. Like if you said to me, brush your teeth, and I was like, yeah, I'll make a decision to brush my teeth. That's not a courageous thing because I'm not scared of brushing my teeth. But to be courageous is to have fear and do the thing anyway. Like there's nothing courageous about being fearless because it's just normal. It's just doing a normal thing. But to define courage is to have fear and choose to act anyway. So that's a really cool thing that you mentioned there, because if you have a higher ratio of evidence that says, yeah, I'm scared, but from what I've done before, I should be able to do this anyway, then you have confidence. You're more confident than you are unconfident, which means you are more proactive or more willing to engage in the activity, even though there is fear there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's great. I think those two kind of go hand in hand. Courage and confidence kind of go hand in hand. If you've got one, definitely. You got more of one or less of one, the other one kind of evens it out. So,
well, the more you do something, really, the more both grow as well.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's repetition, and everyone's first day is their first day for a reason. The first day you go to school, you freak out and then you cry and you think it's the scariest thing in the world. But then after you've been at school for 3 years, you don't cry anymore. Well, I did, but that's just my own personal.
Up until year 12, I still did. That was a whole different reason though.
But but that's the thing. So you need to define it for yourself, and then if you can define it and you understand it, then you can measure it. Again, actions versus what you feel. How close am I to this definition? If I'm closer or further away, then you know that if your actions are working or not. The recipe then is, once you define it, how to get it. And I'm very boring, and you know how many processes and systems I have. Naturally, you have 50 people to manage, and you have 5 businesses to manage, and you don't live in the country where they're at, you need to get pretty good at systems. That's my whole thing, processes and systems. So I am so boring that I have an equation for confidence. And it goes simply put like this. And if you're listening to this, sitting down at your desk or something like that, you can write this down and then you'll have this equation as well. I have a notebook in storage. I have thousands of notebooks in storage, but literally this has written down.
Your notebooks.
You would not like to see my storage container full of notebooks. It's like, have you ever seen the movie The Number 23, where that dude just writes equations everywhere?
No.
That's me.
How old do I need to be to see that?
Oh, let's not talk about that. Anyway, I'm aware that you're younger than me, Coby. Just, you don't have to rub it in every 10 minutes. Anyway, so I got all these notebooks. In that notebook, there is the first time I ever wrote this equation down, and then this is the equation I used ever since because it worked. So to get more confidence, you have to have, it's like, think of it like a mathematical equation. So we have confidence is what we want. How do we get confidence? We make a decision. And if you make a decision and you have a positive outcome, the result of that equals, how do I do this thing again? Or how do I do this thing more? How do I duplicate that result? Because if I did something and I got confidence, if I do it again, what should I get? More confidence. Great. So then we have to go to the other side of the equation, because in mathematics, everything you do on the top, you have to do on the bottom. So if I have an action and I get a negative result, what that equals is, what would I change about it that would logically get me a better result? try again.
Mhm.
And how that works is no matter what happens, no matter what decisions you make, or no matter what the result of that decision is, it becomes less of your problem. And you can actually just listen to the recipe, you can listen to the equation more than you get those thoughts in your head, which is, okay, I'm going to do X. I did it. I got a really bad result. I got a shit result. Okay, what would I change about it? Let's go to the equation. What would I change about it? That will get me a better result, logically get me a better result, and then try it again. Now, if you do that again and you get a positive result, the equation says, how do I do that again? How do I duplicate it? How do I do that? So it's always, even if you get a negative result, you're on your way to achieving a positive result. And
Mm.
that's how I like to look at it, because then you kind of get this thing in your head is even failure puts you in the right direction. So it's not so much about how do I get it perfect, it's how do I get it done? And then you
Yeah.
do more stuff. The result is not my problem. The result is not something I have to worry about. It's more so, now that I've done that result, go back to the equation. Was it bad? This is what I do. Was it good? This is what I do. And both of them lead to more confidence. So that's my equation. Have a play with it. If you like it, use it. It's free. You can take it. And if you get more confidence, fantastic.
Trade-off.
If you listen to that and you want to trade in little parts of that, or you go, oh, that makes kind of sense to me, but this would make more sense. It's just a framework. It's just something to use that you can play with and test. That's how I get more confidence. And that's how I keep confidence as well, is I go back to the drawing board every time. Even if I make a bad decision, good. It's not my problem. Just let the equation do its work. What would I change? I would change this. Let's do it again. Did I get a better result? The answer is yes. Do it again. If the answer is no, cool. I have more information. What would I change now? That's it.
Yeah. Still acknowledging that even if it's a bad outcome, I mean, all data is good data, but it's
100%.
repetition. So even if it's bad, you're still
Yep.
repeating that process, but putting in the small changes. If it's good, you're repeating that process.
Yep.
Everything that's going to do it's confidence. No, it's repetition.
Yeah.
That's going to build the confidence. Just doing
It's-
it over
it's a-
and over and over and over.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I like to use analogies, because analogies help people in different stages of their life. So, like, if you were going to learn how to shoot a basketball, the way that you shot it the first time would not be the perfect thing. Like, it wouldn't be the perfect
No.
form, because you've never shot a basketball before. But they don't, like, whoever comes to teach you don't say, "Oh, throw it with your feet." No, they take the thing you did last time and they go, "Hey, straighten your elbow, follow
Yeah.
through a little more," and they just
this.
get you to repeat the process. Yeah, so you do the thing that gets a bad result, and then you tweak it and you tweak it and you tweak it until you get a good result, and then you do it over and over and over and over again. That's exactly what I'm saying. And it's like, yeah. And if you're a sports guy, then you'll go, yeah, no, that's fair. That's how I got my jump shot. That's how I kick the footy. That's how I do whatever it is. But it's the same in everything in life. When you're a kid, you get on a bike for the first time and you put the training wheels on. But when you fall off your bike, or when something bad happens, everyone doesn't go, "You're an idiot."
No.
They go, "Try again. Get up you get, try again." And that's exactly what we unlearn as adults. We think everyone's looking at us like, "You're a fucking dumbass." No, we just need to be like in ourselves. Hey, I just fell off the bike. That's cool. It's my first day. I need to get up and try again. And that's exactly what it is. You get up, you try again, you learn what you did wrong, and then you figure out how to do it right, and then you do it over and over and over again. So that's my definition, my recipe, and how to keep confidence. That's what I do. If you like it, take it. If you don't, then tweak it however you need to tweak it. But the end result is the same. If you have those things, you will get more confidence. You'll be able to bring your business into the world and not be scared of a negative result.
No. I think being scared of that negative result is what holds so many people back.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything that you want to add there in terms of like the recipe, or anything that you use that the audience might go, "All right, cool, I can add that in there as well," or might make sense to them?
Well, it's so hard because I was obviously taught by you. So I was taught your methods and everything. But I think the biggest thing,
bro, it might be more. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say that the biggest thing that it was like anytime I'd go to do something and I'd be like I don't want to do it, I hate it. You just be like, just fucking do it. Doesn't matter what happens, just do it. Go out there, make the call. If you get rejected, you get rejected. Go out and do it. If someone doesn't answer, go out and do it. If you go out there and you mess something else up, just do it. Everything, it doesn't matter what happens or what the outcome is, just fucking do it. And I think that's a big thing. If anyone takes anything away from it, if they're not feeling confident around something, if they want to do something, it's just do it, no matter what the outcome's going to be. And the more you just do it, the better it's going to become over time.
Can I just say, in no
Nike
way is
alert.
this podcast sponsored or affiliated
Yeah.
with Nike, like Nike, like whatsoever.
At the end of
And
that, I was
I
like, yeah,
understand they have,
Nike.
yeah, I understand. I don't have any affiliation with Nike. I understand they have a trademark, but I am allowed to say the words "just do it" when someone asks me it tells me that they don't want to do it. The
Ours
other thing
isn't
was
that.
there,
It's just fucking do it instead.
just fucking do it a little bit, and there's no like we don't have a full stop at the end of it, so
No.
it's very different. Our thing is very different. But the thing is when Coby said there, and there is a point in time where it's just like, dude, like I just don't care. Just do it. Like if you don't come to me explaining how you don't want to do it, if you want the result and the only difference is the action is done or it isn't, then just do it. But there is another time where there is something like when you think to yourself that won't work, and that's a lack of confidence as well, where it's like, oh yeah, I could do this, but I don't think it'll work. My other thing for that is just prove it. Like you can
Yeah,
come to
exactly.
me and you can tell me that oh look, I don't think these cold calls are going to work, and I'll be like, just prove that is the fact, and I'll believe you. But don't just tell me that. Don't be like, and if you say to me, look, Dale, I don't think these cold calls are going to work, I'll be like, how many cold calls have you made? And if you say 0, I'm going to say, then shut up, because you haven't proved anything. Like you might think something, but what I need is the proof. What we need as a business is the proof that something works or it doesn't. Once you
Absolutely.
have that, I'll believe you. But until you have the proof, then it's just thoughts. And thoughts are they're fantastic, but you can't measure them. They're just like intentions or ideas. They're brilliant. They're brilliant things, but you cannot measure them. And if you're trying to grow a business, you need metrics of growth. Those things don't
Yeah.
provide them. So I think that's a really good kind of. I think that gives a clear idea on confidence, is what I'm trying to say. I think we
100%.
don't need it. If we dive into it, we'll just make it more confusing than it needs to be. But I think that's it. The simple thing I wanted to say about the definitions is, if the most important words to you, like if you're worried about, succeeding, if you're worried about, being happy, if you're worried about, all those different kinds of things that have vague definitions in the dictionary, find out what those words are to you and define them for yourself. So like for me, success is very simple. And it's not what everyone's definition is. Some people want, yachts and all that kind of shit, and that's great. Whatever, I don't care. It's your definition. But to me, is being able to choose I just want choices in every aspect of my life. I want to be able to choose what I do, when I do it, how I do it, who I do it with. That's it. If I have that, I feel free and I feel successful. That's going to be very different to what your thing of success would be. But to me, having
Absolutely.
choices is success. So as long as I do the actions that provide me with that lifestyle, where I can go, cool, I can choose what I do, where I live, who I talk to, when I talk to them, all that kind of stuff, I feel free. That makes me feel successful. So take those words that mean a lot to you, the words that drive you a lot, or the words that scare you a lot, and just define them for yourself, because the dictionary definition for everyone, or the dictionary definition of the word isn't the definition for everyone. Really good example of that is if I said to you, if you're listening to this, I said to you, define to me what hard work means to you. You might say, oh, working 50 hours a week is really hard work, or doing manual labor is really hard work.
Oh,
My
yeah.
definition is, my definition is work until your spine breaks in half. It's the same word, but our definitions are different. So define that stuff for yourself. Choose the words that motivate you. Choose the words that scare you, and define them for yourself. That's the best thing. That's how you know if you're running away from things that scare you. It's good to know what you're actually running away from, and maybe you can turn it into a strength of yours if you understood it, or maybe you'd fear it less if you understood it. And if you're chasing success, you're running after success, you're running after happiness, you're running after those words that motivate you, better to have a definition, because if you know where you're going and why you're going there, it's a lot easier to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. The definition's so important. It just makes it so much easier to understand kind of what you're working towards and why you feel that kind of way.
Yeah.
Especially because it's going to be so different to everyone else's like definition of it, and life experience and overall goals and everything. That's going to change your definition as well. If anyone's watching the video podcast and sees me constantly looking down, I've got a cat here.
There's a cat. Yeah.
I'm just like staring down as you're talking to me. I'm like, I'm listening. I just wanted to.
He's just got a cat on it. But yeah, I think I genuinely think that if there might be people out there that are listening to this that have had some version of happiness or success in their lives, or at least they thought they were chasing after it, and it might let's say it's financial success, it's monetary success, and you go, oh, I used to have a really good job, and I used to work huge hours, I used to make a ton of money, and I drove a nice car, and I had a nice house, and I did all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't happy. That's because what you were chasing was someone else's version of success.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's just to kind of give you a calibration of like, oh, well, what does that even mean? If you've ever done something and everyone around you, like, you're doing great, this is the best thing ever, and you're unhappy, that means it wasn't it for you. It might have been
No,
it for them, but it wasn't it for you. So that's a really good thing. If you're living that right now and you're like, everyone's cheering me on and everyone's saying I'm the best thing ever, and I've got all these things that people wouldn't see as success, but I'm not happy. You just don't have the right definition. You don't have your definition. And that's really all that matters at the
good
end of the day.
emphasis. Your definition is the main thing, not everyone else's.
Yeah, for sure. Sweet. Let's jump into the balance sheet. This is a segment
The
that
balance sheet.
yeah, we need to do like a sexy intro. Actually, that was pretty good. We get some saxophones on that, and that's the intro right there. But we're having to play with some segments. This one's called the balance sheet, and this is basically what we do to keep ourselves kind of leveled out, in this area. In this area, we're talking about confidence, and we're talking about how to kind of manage ourselves in such a way. Like, we want everything. We want to be able to balance our lives so that success doesn't cost you all of your energy, or or all your relationships, or
Sanity.
whatever it is. Yeah, and sanity, exactly right. So this segment's called the balance sheet. Cobes, kick it off. How would you keep yourself balanced, trying to bring a business in to the world? You've got your idea and you're trying to work on your confidence. How would you balance out, the stresses and things to go like that?
Absolutely. Something for the confidence and everything, which I talked to Dale, I remember. And I was like, Dale, how do you get your confidence and get rid of this fear when you're going in to talk to a new business, when you're going in to do anything? And he gave me some advice and told me to just adjust it, which I'm sure you'll probably mention when you talk about it. But something that I'd do is before going to talk to anyone, I'd sit in a car, I'd put on some music that I really enjoyed, that was going to calm me down, that was going to hype me up, that was going to just really get me ready to do it. And then I went, all right, I have whatever, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The moment this song finishes, I'm going out of the car and I'm walking in there.
Right.
I made sure I had my script ready. I knew exactly what I was going to say. I sat there. I didn't think for that whole 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And the moment that song ended, I'd turn off the car, walk out, and I'd go straight in. I wouldn't give myself that time after that song to go, holy shit, like, I'm about to do this thing. I'm terrified of anything.
Yeah.
I would just sit there, focus, and literally that second walk straight in and just do it. And I think that's something to start off with. It was still terrifying because I wasn't able to separate my brain kind of from the fact that I'm about to walk in and just talk to this business and walk in and go do this or anything like that. But again, after the repetition of doing it, I was able to sit there and not even need the song, or after like the first little bit after the song, I was able to properly get out of the car without that fear and go in and do it. And then, like, even now, if I get like a lead or something that was coming into the business, I'd see it there and I wouldn't have to have that mental preparation. I'd just go straight away onto the phone without thinking about it. And that again came from that repetition. But that one thing of allowing myself to do something that I enjoyed, music was a massive thing for me. Allowing myself to do something I enjoyed prior to doing something that was going to scare me, it balanced out sort of that mental state for me, of feeling that joy prior. And especially if it's a song that hypes you up or anything like that, you feel joy, you feel confident, you feel excited, and then you're about to go do this terrifying thing. So that's almost mixed with that like adrenaline of doing something that's out of your comfort zone. And it was just like this whole different feeling.
Yeah. That's a really good thing there. Like what Coby's saying is like that, like you can literally reprogram your brain with enough repetition and enough preparation. You can reprogram your
Absolutely.
brain to be like, you can take a good feeling and mix it with something that scares you, and then you can kind of combine those things. So it's like, okay, I get a good feeling out of doing things that scare me. And that's a really cool thing to train into your brain, which is just like, great, I'm going to get this cool ass feeling about doing something that's different and exciting. And you keep going. And that kind of leads me straight into my balance sheet. The thing that I used to balance myself out was when I used to, like, when I first started like signing big customers and big deals and that kind of stuff, I used to be like, dude, like, I've never done this before. It was like day one all over again. And, there was something I used to do, even when I played football, even, when I was, riding motocross, when I was, starting businesses and everything like that. There was something I used to do, but I brought it in a bigger way when I was doing stuff that was really out of my comfort zone. And I used to feel the feeling and get really curious about it. I get like this adrenaline rush, or I get like this, feeling in the pit of my stomach, feeling like I was going to vomit, all that kind of stuff. And I'd be like, why do I feel like this? And it's like, well, because I'm going to do something new. And then I would ask myself, or I'd tell myself, and I'd just be like, isn't that the kind of life you want though? Like, isn't that the
Mm,
kind of excitement you want? And like, don't you want to feel feelings like this? Our bodies are literally hardwired to send chemicals to the different parts of our body to be like, hey, you're in a state now of you're alive. This is what it's all about. And I just got to a point where I just remember, about to walk out on the footy field, about to, sign a big deal, whatever it is. And I just got to this point where those things would hit, and I would just close my eyes and I'd take a huge breath and I would just go, I fucking love this. And I would just drill that into my head. Like, I can even feel it now. My chest is like filling up with adrenaline, but it's just a moment of just like, this is what it feels like to be alive. I don't want to be sedentary. I don't want to sit around in all my comforts of, air conditioning. And I don't want to sit like that 24/7. Sometimes I just want to feel fucking alive. And when I would
mm.
get that feeling, I would bring all of it right up here and I would just go, I fucking love this. And then bang, we're doing it. And it just made everything fun. It made everything like, this is what it's all about. So that was my thing. That's how I balanced it out. You get some really weird feelings and really weird emotions come up in your body. But to me, it just said, yeah, it's scary as shit. But in this moment, I feel alive and I came here to live. Let's go. Out of the car, into the thing. So there's some really helpful tools there. There's some really helpful
I never
tools.
watched you light up so fast when
Oh,
talking
bro,
about anything other than that. I was like, I always started feeling excited from it. I was like, yeah,
yeah.
I was really hyped up.
And that's the thing, man. That's like, when I think about all the cool shit I've done, and like, in the last few years, like, I've seen some shit that I never thought I'd see. I've been to pyramids, I've been to fucking Sparta, I've been to all these places that I've just always wanted to go my whole life. And it's almost cool to do it in reverse. I did all the work portion of that, and I trained myself to be like, I love this. I feel those feelings. And now I go and stand in front of those things I always wanted to see. Those feelings come up, and the first thing that comes through my head in an instance where it's good, those feelings are good. I'm nervous about seeing something I want to see my whole life. I'm excited about seeing something I want to see my whole life. The first thing that comes through my head is, I fucking love this. And I just take this breath, and everything is just awesome in the world. And it all came from that place of hardship, that thing that, everyone runs away from at the start. I ran away from at the start. I didn't want to deal with it at the start. That just grew into this thing that even the good things now, that's the first thing that comes through my head. I'm just like, I fucking love this.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So that's one of our new segments that we're going to be playing with, the balance sheet. Hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, swing it in the comments, because we're going to play with a few of these. But we have one more thing to go through, which was Coby's Snapchat story. So let's jump into that real quick.
I want to talk about something, and I really want to hear a lot of people's opinions on this. So many people won't use Snapchat if they're older, and it probably doesn't affect a lot of people. But they've just done this thing. So do you know how Snapchat works, old man?
I know how Snapchat works. I am aware of Snapchat.
So they have this section, right, which so many people, I want to say for like literal years since they started, they would use their like online cloud storage. One of their big things was you could save your photos, and they'd have the cloud storage, and it wouldn't go to your phone. You'd be able to have your entire memory. So people have like 8 years worth of memories stored on Snapchat, right? Well, they've just bought out this thing where you only get 5 gigabytes of storage now for free, or they're deleting everything and you have to pay for it. You have to pay for the subscription.
Bold.
What a money grab. So people, like I got a notification. I got like 5.5 gigabytes of photos or anything on there. But my partner who has hers, she has like 50 gigabytes worth of memories on there.
All of her memories are on there.
For, I think she said 8 years. 8 years worth of memories. And they're just going to delete them if you don't upgrade and pay.
Right. Okay. Can I ask a question? Because I don't use Snapchat.
Yeah,
is there a way, or some sort of LinkedIn way, that you can take all of your memories from Snapchat and download to your own cloud before the cutoff date?
You can export them and all that sort of stuff. So they've given you the process to export them onto your phone or anything like that. But the big thing that they really had going for them was the fact that they had that free storage and it wasn't going to
Mm.
fill up your phone space and everything like that. You could just take your photo on Snapchat to talk to someone and save it onto there. That was
Okay.
like a massive selling point for them. And now that if you want to store your memories, they're forcing you to pay for it.
Right. Okay. Well, we can't use the word forcing because they are
Oh, it's
giving you a chance
gorgeous.
to export. Yeah. So we can't use the word forcing because they like if they didn't give you any like if those photos were just gone, then
Yeah,
that would almost be kind of extortion to a point. But the fact that they're saying, hey, I mean, if you used Snapchat a lot and you had 150 gig worth of memories on there and you didn't store them anywhere else, you
which so
could
many people
technically
do.
so many people do. You could technically go and buy Google, whatever Drive or a Google Cloud
Mm.
account or whatever, and pay for that and store it off of Snapchat, and you wouldn't have to pay Snapchat. So you can't use the word forcing, but this is actually something that I hope if people listen to this, this is something that I'm seeing more and more in the business space, which is uh, when I don't know how far I want to go down this right now. Anyway, what I'll give you is what I'm noticing. I won't tell you what's behind it, but I'll tell you what I'm noticing is
Okay.
businesses acquire so much real estate in a certain market or a certain niche, and then they come in with the promises that are fantastic that gain them the audience. Once the audience cannot really live without that service anymore, or cannot really, that's the main tool for what they use based around their business or based around their social media or based whatever it is. Then they change the rules and they profit off it. So, for example, like Netflix. Let's use Netflix for an example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. When it came out, it was videos on demand, anytime, all the time, kind of thing. No
Mm.
ads. Now, because they were trying to get their market who watched television and watched movies and went to the cinema and had all the ads and all that kind of stuff on it, they were trying to get that audience away from them. So their whole thing was no ads. You pay our money, you pay us the money, we'll make sure you get movies on demand with no ads. Then, as they acquired so much more of the market and they had billions of people streaming videos from it, the ad space on Netflix becomes a premium. And every person on earth that has advertising and wants their adverts in front of people wants to pay for Netflix to put their ads on their
Mm.
streaming platform. So then what do Netflix do? They go, there's two different streaming platforms on Netflix now. You can buy Netflix, whatever it is, normal, and Netflix premium, and then we'll take the ads away. But that was what you promised us in the first place. And now you're asking us to pay more for what you promised us in the first place. Now, the downside of that is because Netflix is such a huge part of everyone's normal lives, their day-to-day routine, they go to work, they have a shower, they have some dinner, they watch something on Netflix. People are either forced to watch the ads, which is what they weren't promised in the first place. Ad-free was the promise. Or they upgrade to an even higher tier where you get what you were supposed to get for the original price. That has
Mm.
happened so many times, and I like to call it the Microsoft model because what Microsoft did was you buy a computer from us, we'll give you Microsoft Office for free, and we'll do that for 20 years. And then once Microsoft is integral to everyone's businesses, it's $200 a year now because you can't stop using it because you need Word and you need Excel and you need this and you need that. And it's fantastic because a lot of people adopt this as like, this is the norm. You have to have these skills. You have to use Microsoft Office because it's free and it's on these computers. But what the whole play was in the background is once you need it and you can't turn away from it, then you got to pay for it. And then everyone has to pay for it. So that's what I see Snapchat doing here. You give away a very high value thing, things that people don't realize they value for free. And then you make it so you've got so many things on there that it's like, oh, it's so inconvenient to export this to something else. I'll pay for it. I don't like that as a business model, but it is very profitable.
Yeah, well, they've just they added recently within the past year or so their Snapchat Plus, which was I don't even know what that added. You were able to have a
Mm,
lot more customization, all this sort of stuff, like keep
mhm.
your streaks, save all that sort of stuff, add people as your best friends. I don't know. I didn't pay for it. I didn't see a
Yep.
point in it. But now kind of if you want to keep your memories, you have to go into that one. Like keep your
Yeah.
memories on Snapchat specifically, you have to go to that, and you still get all your other plus features. I think it was shit. When I saw it, I was like,
Mm,
this is so bad.
mhm.
And I think just biggest money grab from Snapchat, what they could have done,
Yeah.
but so, so smart on their behalf.
Yeah. Well, see, the problem is, and this is where things, and we're getting into a bit more technical stuff in business now, and we won't go too far into it because we're already kind of over time. But this is where it kind of gets a little bit tricky in business as well, because businesses like Snapchat, businesses like Facebook and all that kind of stuff, they get so big that they go public. And when you go public, you don't only have your own interests and the interests of your customers, you also have your shareholder interest, your stockholder interest. And if you are, let's say you're trying to develop your app, you're trying to develop Snapchat, and you go, cool, we made whatever, $50 million in net profit. We can reinvest that this year and we should make $100 million in net profit next year. If you make your investment and it doesn't quite pay off, the stockholders are going to see a report that says, hey, we're losing money. So what do? They sell the stock, which drives the price of the company down, which makes it a lot harder. And if you haven't gone public yet, you need to have the best public image, or the best books or whatever it is to go public with, so people buy your stock. So if you had a bad quarter, you might say, well, we need to get this money back quickly. How do we do it? We charge people for the storage.
They've also got the cost of like keeping the cloud storage and whatnot anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like there are so many motives and so many levers behind why people make decisions in business like this, especially businesses that are either public or are about to go public or want to go public. There's so many levers that look like that. And the bottom line is the bottom line. How much profit does this thing make? Is it a good investment? Should I buy it or should I not? But what tends to happen is you might notice, and this is a question I'm going to ask you because you actually are a consumer of Snapchat and what they put out, is the inconvenience of having to pay for that or having to export all your stuff enough for you to stop using Snapchat altogether?
Probably not, because that's like been a main form of contact for a lot of people. But I've seen a lot of people online that it's been enough for them to stop. I've seen so many people complain about it online, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, talking to you, because I have seen such a massive uproar about it. If it was just me, like being like, oh, it's kind of shit, but I get it, I wouldn't have cared. But yeah, there's been a massive uproar online about it, and I think anyone can like do a little Google. I mean, since 2011, they started and had this, and now it's 2015, so 14 years of offering that, and it's taken it away. So a lot of people have been really pissed off about it. So I was like, it would be so interesting to see what you had to say on this.
Yeah, well, and there'll be a calculation. There'll be a calculation in the head office of Snapchat somewhere. How much of our mass adopted customer base do we think we'll lose by doing this versus how much money do you think we'll make from doing this? That equation will have been thrown around. And if they think they're going to lose 33, let's say they lose a third of their customers, 33% of their customers, if every customer now pays $200 a year, well, they don't need those customers anymore, because the customers that they keep will pay for the customers that they lost plus the rest. So there will be an equation somewhere that looks something like that. Obviously, a lot more than the data that I just spat out, because I don't know anything about Snapchat. But for every person that stays and pays, that will pay for the customer that says,
well, every customer that they lose is customers that don't pay anyway. They lose just free customers, and they still have like ads and all that sort of stuff on Snapchat and whatnot now. So
yeah, exactly right. So yeah, there's an equation there where they're going to go, we've got so many people using this. I don't know how many people use Snapchat. Let's call it 1 billion, something like that. If they say, we've got this many people using it and we lost a third of them, but they all paid, the other 2/3 paid, then we'd actually make more money. Then it's statistically a good shot. What it does to me, and if you're a small business owner or you're a medium business owner listening to this, what it does is these kinds of decisions spark outrage, like Coby's saying. And this is where those opportunities, those nice little opportunities for smaller and medium-sized businesses to come through, and you can actually lean on the outrage, and you get a chance to do big business without being a big business.
It's also publicity.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah. So it's more, every decision leaks down the tree. And if you have a business in the social media space and you would never charge for cloud storage, now would be the time to go, we never charge for cloud storage. It's factored into our back end. And that was what I'd be promoting. And a medium-sized business has a chance to go in and compete with a giant because they made this decision. You just need to be able to plan out effectively how you would monetize the rest of the platform so that you could cover the cloud storage. Even if you had, if a third of Snapchat's users came to your platform, you need to have a plan for how you monetize that without charging for storage, because you promised them no charge for storage. So we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. This is one of those opportunities where small businesses can offer something big businesses can't. And you can grab a ton of clients. You can grab a ton of work from something like this happening. So just because you're a small business doesn't mean you're limited to what you can do. You actually have more leeway than you think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really cool thing. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Snapchat. But I mean,
love
me
this. I
personally,
love talking about the business stuff.
yeah, for me personally, I don't like these business models. I think it's much more profitable to keep a customer forever and have them, and build another product for that customer that would leave before you piss them off. But hey, whatever. They're making billions of dollars. They're doing all right.
Yeah, they're doing fine.
Yeah, cool. All right, we're over time on this one. Let's roll. Let's get out of here. Obviously,
awesome.
Links are in the description. If you need any help, shout out. We'll do a free 15-minute call. That link's in the description as well. Hit us up on the website. Hit us up. Leave your comments if you want us to talk about something. Yeah, you know what to do.
We got the group up and rolling and everything. It's exciting. We got everything going.
Yeah. Everything's happening. Good conversations. And if you learned something, tell someone about it. If you didn't learn something, that's great too.
Anything you guys want to hear, anything that you guys actually do to help ground yourselves as well, anything you guys want to heard anything about businesses or all that sort of stuff that you want us to cover and talk about, leave it all in the comments. Any questions as well for what you'd like to see in further episodes, leave a comment, and leave a comment just to let us know if you liked it. Or if you hated it, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
Whatever.
Leave a comment.
It's all good. All right, we'll chat to you soon. Have a good week, everyone. And see you on the next one. Bye.